Okay, we're at the Grammy Museum in Los Angeles, and we're speaking to Johnny Gill. How have you been?
I've been great. I tell you, I've been beyond more than just great. Just been having a great time jumping back into this game and getting into the music part of this, the aspect of this business again, and it's refreshing, but it's great.
Yeah. Now, before we talk about your new record, I want to ask you just a little bit about your background. I know you're from the South and you were raised in D.C.
You
but I
calling me
had,
country?
no, I'm not.
No.
But I read somewhere, and I wanted to ask you about. I read somewhere that you started singing with your brothers, and you were 5 years old,
Yeah,
and you started a
my
gospel
dad-
group.
Yeah, my dad was a minister, so that's where it really all started for me. That's where it all started. So it's been, and I've never let that part of my life go. Let that part of my life go. I've always stayed grounded in there. I mean, through the tours and snares and the ups and the downs, that's what has got me and kept me here for 30 years.
Wow.
30 years.
Now, was that something you and your brothers wanted to do at that age, or were you more into?
I didn't know any better. My dad was a minister, and we just had to sing in church every Sunday, and I didn't know that I could sing or it was anything special, nothing. I just thought everybody, that's what you're just supposed to do. It wasn't until later when I received my first check and I realized, hey, I can get used to this.
Yeah, you could do it as a career.
This is cool.
Exactly. Now, being raised in D.C., and we remember you coming out singing with Stacey Lattisaw, singing The Perfect Combination, all that. Now, how did
Yeah.
all of that come about? Just getting a record
That-
deal at that time?
That was definitely Stacey Lattisaw who introduced me to Henry Allen, the president of the record label at the time, Atlantic Cotillion Records, who actually took really a connection to me and said I want to hear him live because I sang on a $24 tape recorder, one of those buttons you press, the ones that you just and
Yeah.
he heard something that I guess nobody else could hear, and God bless him. So from that point on, it just life as I knew it would never be the same.
Yeah, a lot of records with that and a lot of hits with that.
Yeah.
And then in the middle of that top solo career, you did went and joined New Edition. And at that time, New Edition was a top-rated group.
Yeah.
What was it like going from a solo artist and then joining a successful group at that time?
It was a learning experience for me, but it's something that I take with life that has taught me something very, very interesting in life, and that is learning balance, understanding that being able to be a team player, so
Yeah.
it's not just about me. I mean, the blessing is having the opportunity to be able to go on the other side here and make decisions for myself and do the type of music that I enjoy doing, and at the same time being able to express myself as an artist, and then being able to step back in here as a group and being able to work with people, which we all have to do in life, period, and learning how to be and continue to be a team player, which means everything doesn't necessarily fall your way, but it's
Yeah.
about it's the majority rules, it's the things that we learn to adapt to and adjust to, which has been great, which is a blessing.
Now, New Edition just recently played at the Edson Festival this summer.
Yeah, we did.
With all six of you. And
Yeah.
how was that? And is there plans now for a tour or any more collaborations
That was one
coming
of
up?
the most memorable experiences I think I've ever had in my 30 years. Just being on stage with everyone after 4 or 5 years of not being together, and it just simply just made life. I mean, it was just a moment that you can never recapture. And at some point, hopefully, we will, move forward to do something where all six of us. I mean, obviously, I have the new CD out that's coming out here, so I have to solely stand firm and work on that and work, and put my efforts there to make sure that that's a great success. And it's starting out incredibly well right now. So.
And now you've been in the music business for 30 years now. What do you think the difference is of you starting up as a teenager and going in today compared to how the music business is today for up-and-coming teenagers?
The music has changed a lot, but the business has changed a lot. And that's life. I could cry about it or we could sit and complain about it, but that's nothing but just a natural progression with life, with anything. And learning how to adapt and learning how to fit in and learning how to understand life and the things that it brings, the changes and our challenges. But they're challenges that, you have to just embrace. You have to open up and welcome those changes. And sometimes you start complaining when you're no longer and have that drive to want to change. When you want things to stay the same, you want things to be the way you want them to be. And I hope and pray to God that it never gets that way for me. I want to continue to grow. I want to continue to see what's new, what's out there, and learn how to adapt.
Exactly. Now, on the solo side, in the midst of that, you did have a real big, successful solo album came out. A couple albums came out. on Motown, "We'll Rub You the Right Way,"
Yeah,
and
yeah.
all those songs. How was
Provocative.
that process from just going to a group back to solo artists and having that kind of success at that time?
It was no different because I mean these are my brothers at that time, and it's like going home with your family. You never, I don't care how successful you are. It's always it's family, and you never can depart from the family because that's just that's this thing that it's called one word is called love. It's a connection. It's something that's there that will never allow you, no matter where you go, how far you go, what you succeed, what accomplish. This is my family, and coming back to the tree, the mother, the tree, and the foundation to where it all started. Really, in some sense, is it's always I look forward to it, and I think we all do.
Yeah, now a lot of people don't know that you are also a musician. You play instruments,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
can you
yeah.
tell me how many instruments you play? And
Oh gosh, I play guitar, keyboard, bass, drums, percussion. I just whatever just hits me, it just I figure it out, and I just pick it up and start figuring it out.
now the new single is out now, "In the Mood." It's on the R&B chart. Can you tell us about the song? What's it about? What's the songwriting process like? Did you write the song or collaborate?
I collaborated, yeah, with Dave Young and a guy named Ralph Stacy, and we had such a great time doing it. I wanted something that says my signature for who I am and what I do, and that is love songs. And I wanted just that ultimate song for the year that would have that type of impact that grown folks are going to go, hey, this is what I'm talking about. And I think we achieved that. I think we accomplished that, and that's what that song sort of brought to the table for everybody to say, here's who I am, and this is where I am today.
Wow, it's a fantastic single.
Thank
Now
you
this is
so
now you have
much.
a new solo album. Yep, coming out, Still Winning. It's your first solo album in
So
16 years.
16 years. That's
How
hard to
did,
believe, but
yeah.
yeah.
Now, how did that process come up? You signed with a new label. How did the whole process come up to
Well, Jimmy
come back
Jam,
and make a record?
really Terry Lewis came up with the idea. He's asked me one day, when are you going to record a new CD? Time had gotten away from me. At that point, it was 11 years in, wasn't even thinking recording. And he says, there's a void out there and people want to hear from you. And I mean, it's great with the LSG, it's great with the Heads of State, it's great with the New Edition, but where's Johnny? And there's people that want to hear from Johnny. And I just didn't really think that it was really that important to people. It was really a demand for that. So, but he said to me, he says, you know how long it's been? I said, it's what, about 6 years maybe? He goes, no, it's been 11 years. He says, you don't have to go and record all the way through the whole time. He said, but we can just get started doing things. He said, but people want to hear from you, and it's time. So, and we did that. We just started recording periodically, and when I would come in town, and he had the time, and we just go in and just start knocking stuff out. So,
Wow.
this is what we came up with.
And that's good coming from Jimmy Jam and Terry
Yeah.
Lewis to tell you to put out a
Yeah,
record. Now
yeah.
you also worked with Brian Cox and
Big
Wyclef.
Koch,
And
yes, Wyclef.
now what was that? What was that like?
That was just awesome because, to me, Wyclef is like to me for our generation the Quincy Jones. I love the fact that he knows his history, his music. He's like really just so well rounded, and it's like to me, it's like it was truly an honor for me to work with him, and then to hear him talking about me, what I've done, and all this stuff, and I'm going, ooh, he's talking for me. But it was really a blessing. And Brian Michael Cox, who's just he's just incredibly talented, and he's like just so easy to work with, and we just had fun. We had fun, and this has been the first time of being able to record a project where I got a chance and opportunity to just have fun, make good music. No, didn't know which direction we were going to be gearing it towards. Just sing, make good songs, make some great songs, and let the chips fall where they may.
Yeah. And lastly, I just want to ask you, what is your writing process like in writing this new album and working with collaborators? So as Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis, you start with songs first. Do you start with like writing lyrics, music? Do you come up with ideas and bounce back?
Pretty much started with tracks. Some of them start with tracks, and some we started with just with the song. I came in and the song was ready to go, and listened and was like, okay, that works for me. So it was like sometimes it just comes from different angles, different directions, but you know it when you hear it, you know it when you feel it, when you can connect with it. And that's the one thing that I've often said I would never do is compromise my art.
That's great, and you haven't, and
Thank you.
that's always great. Well,
Thank you.
congratulations on your success. Look forward to hearing the rest of the
Thank you
songs
so
on the
much
new
for
album.
taking the time out. I
Yeah,
really
no
appreciate
problem.
it.
Thanks a lot.
All right.